So you're trying to decide if San Antonio is the right place for you to make the move to. Well, stick around this video. We're going to talk through the 5 reasons why you should not move to San Antonio. But before we get into that, my name is Brianna Moltz. Thanks so much for coming back to my channel. For those of you that are new, welcome. I'm a local realtor here, and I'm very passionate about working with my clients for any of their real estate needs. So if you have any questions, my information is down below. By all means, give me a call, shoot me an email, and let's get into it. So the first reason, we're gonna get the obvious out of the way. It's the heat, y'all. We've had 3 consecutive summers, depending upon when you're watching this, that we have had the hottest months on record. May, June, July. In fact, in July, we just averaged an average temperature of 101.6 degrees. So it has been stifling. And look, I love my heat, don't get me wrong, but this summer I've definitely stayed inside a bit more than normal. So if you're someone that has a heat sensitivity, I don't know, this probably may not be the city you want to consider. Maybe somewhere a little further north. They do have, well, it still gets hot, but a little less than San Antonio. That being said though, the rest of the year, the weather is more mild and tempered. So again, it does afford you to do a lot of outdoor activities, which I talked about in the positive reasons to move to San Antonio. Go ahead and check that out. Now, the second reason, if you are someone who doesn't like critters and doesn't like bugs, well, we have a few of those here. So let me talk through the main venomous snakes that we have, which are cottonmouths, rattlesnakes, the western diamondback to be specific. We've got copperheads and coral snakes. So you will definitely see 3 out of those 4 come through your backyard. We get them every summer. If they're doing construction and developing land nearby, it's going to drive the wildlife out. So be careful when you are stepping out into your backyard, front yard, your pets, your small children. You do want to be mindful of those. We also have mosquitoes that are the size of Texas. Don't even get me started. We've got yellow jackets, red wasps, and they will build their nests in your doorways, under your roofs. So be mindful of that when you are outside. If you're cutting down trees in your yard, you've got to be careful for those as well. The grocery stores, Walmart, etc., they all carry good anti-wasp and hornet spray, also fire ants. Now, they are an invasive species to Texas, and these little ants, let me tell you, if you've never been bitten by one, count yourself blessed. They itch, they burn, they sting, they are a pain to get rid of, but it's doable. But again, if you're someone who can't tolerate bugs, and notice I didn't even cover spiders, I'm arachnophobic, so we'll have to save that for another point in time. But if you're someone who just cannot handle bugs in your house, bugs in your yard, possible snake in your backyard, this may not be the place for you. Now let's get into the third reason, which is allergies. Now this might seem like an odd one, but yes, it's true. San Antonio has one of the highest rate of allergies, and the reason is the city sits lower than the surrounding areas. So imagine like a bowl, and we're at the bottom and the other areas are around. So what happens is when the oak pollen and the cedar pollen come in, they settle down here and they stay down here. And every year I see everyone with their horrible allergies flare up, and they last days and months on end. I've also experienced where native San Antonians move away for an extended period of time, and when they move back, they then develop allergies. So if you're a local and you've made the move and now you're coming back, be wary. You may now all of a sudden have an allergy that you did not have before. So if you have breathing issues, this may not be the place for you, but perhaps say a little further north or up in the hill country where the elevation sits a little higher, that might be the place for you. Perhaps Fredericksburg. It's beautiful out there. Speaking of driving, that brings us to our 4th reason, which is construction. Y'all, there is a running joke through this city about the construction on 35, which is one of our highways that runs north and south. Good Lord, the city is ever growing, and for whatever reason, they cannot keep up with the construction and the growth and development. 2 of our main highways, like I mentioned, 35 north and south, and then 1604, which is a loop that runs the perimeter of San Antonio. It seems that these two highways are always under construction, not to mention the little roads in between. Does it cause headaches in the morning and evening during rush hour traffic? Yes, absolutely. But at the end of the day, if the city makes sense for you, then you're going to find a way to do some great time management and make your commute work. Or, since so many positions have switched to work from home, that may not be an issue for you. But again, that's something to consider if you are not someone who wants to be stuck in traffic for about an hour. Our normal commute time is 45 minutes to an hour, but when you stick that construction in, tackle on an extra 10 to 30 minutes. Now, the last reason why you may not want to move to San Antonio is our property tax rate. Now, let me back up for a second and state that Texas does not have a state income tax. So that right there is a huge bonus to moving to Texas. However, the government does have to make up their money some way, one way or the other. So because of that, we do have a higher tax rate. San Antonio's property taxes averages about 2.7%. It varies from area to area based on the local school districts. We can talk through that if you need to look at a specific area. I can talk you through the specific tax rate for that if you're looking. And then along with property taxes, we do have a state sales tax, which is 8.25%. Now, that being said, even with the property taxes and the state sales tax, you are still looking at saving money here. But if the idea of paying a higher property tax rate on your home scares you, or it's just something that simply isn't in the budget, this may not be the location for you. You may want to look at the surrounding areas. Like, for instance, if you go a little west of San Antonio, some of those tax rates are in the low 2s or high 1s. So that may help offset the cost. And of course, the houses are a little lower in price out there as well because they're not in the heart of the city where all of the high demand is. I know we breezed through those, but if you have any questions, again, let me know. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next week. Bye.